Well, welcome to another episode of Port Charles Chat. I'm Mom.
I'm Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining with us again today.
Yes, thank you as always.
Yes, and we apologize. We know that we are about a week behind. So, as we said, life just kind of catches up with you sometimes. We have been incredibly busy, but we are trying to catch up. So, thank you for joining us. Today, we're talking about the week of February 23rd through February 27th, but the recording date on this is on March the 7th. So, you'll probably see two of these episodes basically in a row. All right. And so, first of all, Brandon and I want to talk about something that we did fairly recently. Brandon, are you ready to tell them our exciting news?
I'm ready, Mom.
All righty. We had an opportunity to go and see Stone Cold and the Jackal. We had a wonderful time. The experience was really great. I will say they were much, much funnier than I truly expected. Um, Bradford Anderson has a great singing voice. And then we really enjoyed our time. And so, if you have an opportunity to see them, I thought it was a great experience. Brandon, what were your thoughts?
Yes, I definitely really enjoyed the experience. As a little bit of background, is that uh, this experience was a gift that me and my aunt gave to you for Christmas, but I really enjoyed the experience in being able to see Bradford Anderson and Steve Burden, who play, of course, Spinelli and Jason on General Hospital. It was quite fun, and I was surprised with how many people were there. I think it was a packed house.
It did seem like a packed house there, and so yeah, I was surprised to see how many people were there, and it was just very very enjoyable. All right. And so now let's move on to the week of February 23rd through February the 27th. And so we start with Trina making up with her mother after she has a conversation with Isaiah. Apparently, that was a moving conversation with him. But anyway, so she has now made up with her mother. And then on another note, Michael and Chase, they have another altercation. Brooklyn actually witnesses the fight and questions Chase about it. Chase does admit to actually seeing Michael's keys and kind of alluding to it. But yes, so Michael and Chase are still at odds with each other. Maxie decides that she wants to be with Spinelli and not Nathan now that she's home. Nathan, on the other hand, has decided that he wants Lulu, but Maxie and Nathan do, but Nathan or Lulu have not told Maxie that they want to be together, at least at this point in time. Emma returns from California. She sees Geo, and she is still worried about her mother and her grandmother. Willow spends time with her children. There are times, though, that Willow does not like being at her house. Sunny kisses ADA Turner, and she turns around and then she slaps him. Rick and Sunny meet and talk about ADA Turner the next day. Um, Brennan is in danger and tells Jason this. Cullen actually has a meeting with Jason. Willow is appointed to take Drew's place in Congress. Sidwell actually had to persuade her to do this. We later find out that Sidwell actually speaks to Drew, and he indicates that he and Willow are actually working together, and Sidwell is providing the quote unquote medication that he is receiving that is actually keeping Drew under his sedated self. And then Brooklyn and Chase are actually stunned by someone they see while they are walking. Brandon, did I leave anything out?
Well, Mom, that is about it for this week. Or
Okay.
last week.
About last week. All right. Is that I thought I was remembering something else about Maxie and Sidwell, but oh yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
Yes, Maxie did inform Sidwell that she is on to him, and that while she's grateful for all the work that he has done for the company, deception, that it's time for her to take back in charge. Sidwell doesn't particularly like that, but Maxie's not done yet.
Yes. And so Sidwell's on the move again, so we'll see where this ends up. But that kind of ends the cap the little bit of and that ends the week of February the 27th. Now let's talk about our performer of the week. You know, Brandon, a lot went on last week, and I struggled a little bit who I thought the performer of the week should be. And I kind of settled on Lucas. Um, Lucas actually had a very interesting week. Lucas did speak to Elizabeth in regards to his relationship with Marco and some things that were going at home. I think he spoke to Carly at some point. Lucas has just been very busy and he is trying to figure things out. And of course, Lucas is not one to kind of think things through on his own. He has to speak to people in order to kind of keep everything going. And so he had a range of emotions this week. And so that's why I kind of chose Lucas. All right, Brandon, what were your thoughts for Performer of the Week?
Well, for me, I ended up choosing Maxie.
All right, and why did you choose Maxie?
Yeah, so I chose Maxie because I really liked her confrontation with Sidwell, and I thought that this was a strong Maxie that we have all known before she went to her coma. And I will say, in the few weeks that led up to this week, or I should say last week, that we have had a strong Maxie, but unfortunately, she just wasn't seen enough to be chosen as a performer. Then, and that there were so many other stronger candidates, but I feel with this week, with again this past week, with there being a lot of scattered storylines, I felt it made more sense to choose her.
All right, makes sense. As for amusing scenes of the week, I got a kick out of Sonny and Rick. It's rare that I could say that, but they made me laugh nonstop. They talked about, they had a conversation about ADA Turner. Basically, Sonny spoke with Rick about how the ADA Turner slapped him. But he did start from the beginning, telling him exactly what went on. And the look on Rick's face as he told the story was incredibly funny. And so that to me was really the true amusing scene of the week. There was another scene that I got a kick out of, and that was really Sidwell, and he was kind of teasing Lucas about Pascal saving a bite for dinner for him. Is Sidwell being Sidwell and how he said it that made me laugh. And so these are my two amusing scenes of the week. What about you, Brandon?
Yes, I was also amused by the whole Sonny and Rick situation, especially asking if kissing the acting district attorney was a crime, and Sonny going on, and Rick seeming more and more frustrated. So I love that, and I unfortunately must have somehow missed the scene with Lucas as well and talking about Pascal, but nevertheless, that does sound amusing.
Yeah. All right. And then as for touching scenes of the week, for me it was Spinelli as he was waiting to find out what Lulu's decision was because he did sit on the sofa for a while and just watching him as he was contemplating and trying to figure out how Lulu would react. I'm sorry, waiting for I said Lulu. Um, sorry, touching scenes of the week. That would be Spinelli waiting for Maxie to make a decision about her about what she was going to do. So for me, the touching scene of the week was actually Spinelli, and that was when he was waiting to find out who Maxie was going to choose. It was interesting to watch as Spinelli did have a conversation with Lulu, but then Spinelli did had to wait for Maxie to come home so that she could actually say who she was choosing. And it was really nice to see when Maxie actually did choose Spinelli as the person who she wants to be with. All right, Brandon, did you have a touching scene of the week?
Well, I would agree with that, Mob. I definitely feel that Maxie choosing who she wants to spend her life with, saying that she loves both Nathan and Spinelli, different reasons, but she loves them both, but also that she'd only live her life with one of them, and that person would be Spinelli. So I did really like that, and I will say, and the audience of our, or I should say, in the line for us attending Stone Cold and Jackal, that is what everyone was talking about that scene.
Yes, they sure were. They sure were. All right. And let's see. Were there any skip scenes for you this week?
More so accidental skip scenes or for time reasons, and that's more so in the sense, like, for instance, last Tuesday we saw Stone Cold on the Jackal, and so given that General Hospital is an hour show, we couldn't reasonably watch the whole hour before heading to the show, and some more reasons like that. Most of those scenes were more so anything like, as bad as it is to say, like a Portia and Isaiah sort of situation. But again, not necessarily in the sense of that we wanted to skip them, but more so that for time, the other scenes felt more aligned with the overarching story.
Yep, that's very true. Yeah, there were a couple scenes that we end up fast forwarding through. Did you feel, for storyline purposes, did the General Hospital actually skip some scenes?
Mm, I don't remember. Mom, do you remember?
I didn't have any written down, but I was just wondering if you thought because sometimes General Hospital has a knack for actually having a scene and then a scene that seems to be missing on our side, and then they have another scene that does not connect.
Yes, I don't remember any for last week that I can recall, but I mean it is a week later.
All right. And then, of course, my Where Are They's. Now, keep in mind, this is a week ago, guys. The Where Are They's for me would be Olivia, Ned, Tracy, and Curtis. They were all missing last week, if I remember correctly. All right, Brandon, any Where Are They's for you?
So this one is a person that hasn't been on there for a while, but someone I just personally miss seeing on the screen. And interestingly enough, that's Sasha.
Okay. Yeah, Sasha did have Sasha had to grow on me. And so I liked her toward the end. And then welcome back to Emma. Any welcome backs for you?
It's also Emma for me.
All right, sounds good, Brandon. All right, is there anything else you want to discuss for General Hospital?
Not necessarily. I mean, uh, I really enjoyed being able to see this week, of course, with again Maxie making a big decision. I love that they didn't let this linger forever. I feel like the show, I mean, they do it well, but I'd think, but they certainly do have a habit of having big decisions like that linger forever. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm glad that for Maxie it was an instant decision. I just hope that this decision is not undone within about a month or two.
Yeah, same here, same here. And as for things to look forward to for this week coming up, the last scene that I believe that we saw was actually Brooklyn and Chase as they were waiting, as they saw someone or they were shocked to see someone at the last scene. And so we have looked ahead. But we're happy to discuss this next week. So that's the one thing that I was surprised about, but what I saw. And so we look forward to discussing this um, for the next week's episode. And we thank everybody for watching.
And Mom, that was actually this week on Monday.
Yes, it was. It was. It was. And so that's why we look forward to talking about this coming up. And so we thank everybody for watching.
And we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, have a great day, everybody.